This is Rap Son, worshiping the Most High God of Israel alone and carrying on the legacy and teachings of my dear father and our dear messenger, Rap the News. Shalom, my family. I've seen a few people asking about how Rap came to the conclusion that February is the 7th month. So let's shed a bit of light on that if the Most High is willing. So first we'll start with scriptures. Psalms 104:19. He appointed the moon for seasons, the sun knoweth his going down. Genesis 1:14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So the Hebrew calendar supposedly goes by the moon. It is supposedly a lunar calendar, right? So it should accurately show us our feast days and everything, right? Wrong. You have to ask yourself, how does this supposedly lunar calendar match so closely with the solar calendar after all these years? With the Hebrew calendar having 354 days in a year and the solar having 365 days, the Hebrew calendar would be 11 days shorter than the solar calendar each year. There is no way they can match up. So the question is, how do they match up so closely? Well, let's let the fake Jew explain it to you.
And 12 revolutions of the moon going around the earth, that's going to result in a lunar year. And as a result, it's going to be 354 days in length. That's 11 days shorter than the solar calendar. That's 11 days shorter than the solar calendar. That's 11 days shorter than the solar calendar. Because, again, the lunar calendar is 11 days shorter than the solar calendar. So in the season of the summer, it's going to come 11 days earlier, and the next year 11 days earlier than that, so it's 22 days earlier, and then the next year it's going to be 33 days earlier, so it'll be in the month before. And then as more time passes, it'll end up in the winter or in the fall. So what about the Jewish calendar? What do? So our calendar is actually called a lunisolar calendar, which means it's a combination of the lunar calendar and the solar calendar. Which means it's a combination of the lunar calendar and the solar calendar. Which means it's a combination of the lunar calendar and the solar calendar. So how do we adjust the lunar calendar and fix it to the seasons, which goes according to the solar calendar, which goes according to the solar calendar, which goes according to the solar calendar? So what we do is we adjust the calendar with a leap year, where we're going to add a 13th month, where we're going to add a 13th month, where we're going to add a 13th month sometimes to the year. And we do that in the 12th month. We'll go through the months in another video and their names and their meaning. But the last month in the Jewish year is called Adar. And what we'll do is we'll repeat. We'll have a second month of Adar, and that'll be the 13th month. And we do this 7 times in 19 years. And we do this 7 times in 19 years. And we do this 7 times in 19 years. So we'll never have a situation that over a couple of years, you're going to eventually have Passover, in January, that once a few years pass and Passover is getting so early, we'll have a leap year and boom, it'll be 30 days, later in the next year. It'll be 30 days, later in the next year. It'll be 30 days, later in the next year.
Damn, Israel, they got you again. The key words in the last bit of that video clip is 30 days late. They late. So if in every 19-year period they add 7 extra months of Adar, then in a 19-year period you get 7 months further away from your original holy days. So pretty much every 3 years they throw you off by a month to match up with the solar calendar. They claim to go by the lunar, but add to it to stay close to the solar. You might as well be going by the solar calendar. How in the hell do you add a month? You ain't the Most High. Who gave you such authority and power? The Most High doesn't change. Malachi 3:6. When did he ever say to add a month so that you can stay closer to the solar calendar when he made the moon to mark your seasons, days, and years? Wake up, Israel. You've been fooled again. So now we know that the Hebrew calendar, fake Hebrew calendar, is a lunisolar calendar. And they add an extra month about every 3 years. So we need to find a pure lunar calendar. That's what should go through any logical thinking person's brain. And when researching that, the only one that I could find is the Hijri calendar. Not sure how you say that word, but Hijri calendar. If anyone else can find another, then please let me know in the comments. It has to be a pure lunar and not lunisolar, else they're going to add in an extra month. So with this Hijri calendar, that is supposedly pure lunar calendar, no extra month is added and it goes purely by the moon, getting 11 days shorter than the solar calendar each year, according to every source that I read so far on the internet. We believe this calendar to be the most accurate due to it keeping track of the moon without adding or subtracting from it. So according to this purely lunar calendar, the 7th month will fall in February. This is Rap Sun.